Well, howdy. How you doing? My name is Rusty Humphries. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. And we got a lot going on today. Oh, the Democrats want to pretend all the problems away. Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. Also, good day in the Supreme Court. Not a good day with one of our Congress people. More importantly, though, I want to know who you are. Do me a favor, would you check in? Let me know who you are, where you're deplorable from. I want to say hi to you and do this show and get her going here. John's there. John's checking in. Michelle is there. Terry Lynn saying, hiya, Rusty. Hiya, Terry Lynn. Give me some thumbs ups. Give us some hearts. Give us some shares. Mike's there thumb upping us. Chuck is checking in from Alaska. Whitney is checking in. Michael is there. By the way, today's program is being powered by the nice folks at Right Wing News. Also by the wonderful people here at Liberty One TV. If you haven't subscribed to Liberty One TV, go to liberty1tv.com. See what they have for you. They got some great shows, some great hosts, and I think you'll like it. Also, today's program is being brought to you by 7 Ways to Win Political Debates with Your Liberal Family and Friends and Still Keep Them as Family and Friends, written by me, Rusty Humphries. And it's available at Amazon and in paperback and in Kindle and also in the audiobook. Go get that now. Also today we are being powered by the nice folks at Virtual Shield, and there is more and more proof that these scumbags in the big social media companies and the internet providers are stealing your data and selling it. And Virtual Shield can help you. Just go to virtualshield.com/Rusty. Use my name Rusty in the promo code. Get 20% off, and you will be glad that you did. It is something you should do, my friend. There was a story today. I'm very excited about it. The guys in Silicon Valley are very upset, very concerned, because it appears there's a liberal bill that's going to finally target those bastards that are running the social media companies, and they don't like it one bit. Oh, and I love it. I love it. Look at this. Google and Facebook are quietly fighting California's privacy rights initiatives, according to emails. Lobbyists for the largest technology and telecommunications firms have only 3 days to prevent the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, a ballot initiative that would usher in the strongest consumer privacy standards in the country, from going before the state voters this November. The idea that Californians might gain sweeping new privacy rights has spooked Silicon Valley, internet service providers, and other industries that are increasingly relying on data collection of you. And by the way, the other thing about this that's so interesting is Facebook, which was, we're in front of Congress and we're sorry, we're not going to do anything bad again. Remember when the Zuck did that? Well, the Zuck's trying to Zuck you again, putting all kinds of money into trying to repeal this. Now, by the way, if it happens in California, they'll have a real hard time stealing your data in other states. So it's one of the first times I like California going overboard. It's about time. Tammy's there. Hey, Tammy, my old friend Tammy. John's there. Diane's from Ohio. Michelle checking in from Jasper, Alabama. John is there. Carolyn is there. Sean's back from Atlanta. Jeffrey's in Amarillo, Texas. Lauren's in Montgomery, Texas. Lloyd is in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Ed is in Missouri. Terry says there's no picture. I got to see a picture. Michael is a cheesehead. My old pal Joey is there. Middle Michigan is where David is. Whitney is from Provo, Utah. Are you going to support Mitt Romney, Whitney? Savannah, Texas, deplorables. Maria. John is there from Australia. Denny Berg. Hey, Denny. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Jeff's in Paris, Texas. And anyway, keep saying hi. Keep checking in. Do me a favor. Share the video. Thumbs ups. All those good things. Let's get some videos on there. First of all, Maxine Waters. Maxine, well, you saw the videos. I know you've seen them all day long of all the horrible things Maxine Waters said. Yes, Republicans should have no rights to go to restaurants. Well, it appears that there are people that are upset at Maxine Waters, and it's I like hearing from them. Here's one of them right here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
The black community with illegal immigration. I lost my job because I did not speak Spanish in my country because of people like Maxine Waters. Nobody is representing blacks. We are American citizens. We have a right to work in our own country. You know that they have destroyed the black community and you do nothing. She is wrong. She's got to go. She's paid with taxpayers' money to discriminate against American citizens, and we're not going to have it. She's been in office too long doing nothing. She lied. She had a job fair years ago and promised House Resolution 348. Look it up. Look up House Resolution 348 under Maxine Waters. She lied to the black community, said she was going to bring us jobs. She gave those jobs to illegal criminals. That's what she's getting paid for. We want her out. She's been in office too long. She's already showing signs of dementia. We want her out. She's a hater and she's a racist. She's not going to divide this country with her hate. She's not going to be allowed to get away with it. We want her out.
Okay, I don't know what I could disagree with there. Do you? Now, the hater Maxine Waters got into our good friend Laura Loomer's sites today. You know Laura Loomer, right? You've seen her stuff. Laura, I've known her for years. And watching her take off, her career has taken off, has been great. Laura Loomer is just out there and asking the tough questions to the tough people. Anyway, it looks like she got into the halls of Congress, or the office buildings anyway. I think it's the Rayburn building. And it looks like Laura Loomer kind of went after Maxine Waters. Check this one out.
Hi, Congresswoman Waters. Hi, my name's Laura Loomer. I'm an investigative journalist. You just recently made some comments in which you encouraged your supporters.
Who are you, darling?
My name is Laura Loomer. I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm also a conservative journalist.
Come to my office. I'll be happy to sit down with you.
No, I would like to ask you questions. Please don't push my camera out of my hand. You just encouraged your supporters. You just encouraged your supporters to harass Trump supporters and officials.
Please come to my office.
I just wanted to ask you, where are conservatives allowed to go?
Please come
Are there separate?
and talk with me.
Do we sit at the back of the bus?
Please come to my office and talk with me.
Where can we
We'll
eat?
be happy to talk with
Where
you.
can a conservative eat at a restaurant in
Please
D.C.?
come to my office and talk.
I'm
and be
asking you
civil.
right now.
Please come to my
This
office
is
and
civil.
talk with me.
You're talking about civility. Do you think it's civil to call for the
Please come
harassment
to
of
my
Trump
office
officials?
and sit down and
No,
talk
I'm
with
asking
me.
you right now.
Will you please
Are
come
we
to my
supposed to
office?
sit at the back of the bus? Are we supposed to sit at the
Members
back of the
only.
bus?
This
elevator is members
Are we
only.
It's a
supposed to-
members elevator.
are we
Ma'am,
supposed
it's a
to sit
members
at the back of the
elevator.
bus?
Ma'am, it's a ma'am, it's a members elevator. Members have to vote. It's a members elevator. Members have to vote.
Yeah, and I'm asking you
It's a
questions.
members elevator. Members have to vote.
When are you going to stop
It's a
inciting
members
violence?
elevator. Members have to vote.
When are you going to
It's
stop
a members
inciting violence?
elevator. Members have to
Congresswoman,
vote. It's a members elevator. Members have to vote. It's a members elevator. Members have to vote.
Where can I eat?
It's a members
in DC?
elevator. Members have to vote.
Where can I eat in D.C.?
It's a members elevator. Members have to vote.
The Trump supporters.
It's a members elevator. Members have to vote. Members have to
Separate
vote.
bathrooms?
Okay, I'm not sure. Is it a members elevator? And do members have to vote? I'm not sure. Trying to see if I can weave through some of his in-depth comments there. All right, Maxine Waters, the queen of dishing it out and not being able to take it. And do you think if Laura Loomer would have said, "Okay, Congresswoman, I'll meet you in the office," do you think that Maxine Waters would have been there waiting with open arms and a glass of lemonade for her? I kind of doubt it. But what is shocking to me is that the left continues to think that her behavior is okay. The Washington Post which is the Washington Post the one that's owned by Jeff Bezos of Amazon? I think so. There's the New York. No, New York Post is Carlos Slim, who's the richest man in Mexico. Washington Post is owned by one of the richest men in America. Anyway, listen to the Washington Post as they're given a pass and debating on should the Trump team be able to eat in peace or not. And this is the lefty version of if they should or not. Check this one out.
I'm Fred Hyatt.
I'm Molly Roberts, and this is why I'm right about publicly shaming Trump officials.
A lot of Trump policies I find repugnant, and I know this is no ordinary time. But I know there are people on the other side who also feel strongly. And if our response is going to be that no public official can have any private space, then eventually nobody rational, especially with a family, is going to go into public service. And that's not going to be a world that's good for any of us.
This is not just about a policy disagreement. This is about our democracy. These abuses of Trump's are the latest in a long line, and Trump is the latest in a long story of the Republican Party declining into a liberalism. So this isn't about a slippery slope toward unstoppable incivility. It is about yanking us off a slippery slope toward some sort of fascism. And if we're weighing two norms against each other, civility and democracy, democracy wins.
Okay.
I agree it's not about civility. It's about going high when the other side goes low. A stronger message would have been, okay, have your dinner. We don't want your money. Thank you. Good night.
I'm just not convinced by the idea that restaurants are some sacrosanct private space. I think that restaurants have a long history of being a place where politics are going to play into it. You're here, you're in public, you're at a Mexican restaurant. Come on. That's for Kirsten Nielsen. And that's why I'm right.
I think I'm right.
I've won.
Yeah, and the only thing they have is left and far left and crazy far left. And that's the thing with Democrats. It is this echo chamber of, well, again, Trump's evil. If you're evil, as you know, as a matter of fact, if you even supported Trump in any way, shape, or form, you're evil. Well, first of all, I want to know what you think of this. Do you think that? I mean, should we start going after Maxine Waters at restaurants? I'll give you my take in a moment, but I want you to see what the media is saying about you if you support Donald Trump. Let's watch this.
If you vote for Trump, then you, the voter, you, not Donald Trump, are standing at the border like Nazis, going, you here, you here. And I think we now have to flip it, and it's a given the evilness of Donald Trump.
If you hold down the woman while the rapist is raping her, and you didn't rape her, are you a rapist?
Tens of millions of people voted for him after he showed his cards for years.
But are you suggesting that they're racist, or
they're... Yes.
The people who vote, all the people who voted for Donald Trump are racist?
Yes.
If Republicans weren't so racist, they could encourage black people who are morally conservative to be on their side.
Those people who are supporting what he's doing here are racist, period.
It's movements and people that are speaking up for things, whether we're talking about civil rights movement, whatever else, those movements should be nonviolent, but they should not be non-confrontational.
And so these policies that this administration is putting forth are intentionally cruel, they are racist, and it is our job as citizens to speak out against that. Now, does that mean that we're going to be violent? No. But does that mean that Sarah Sanders can have a nice, quiet dinner with her family when she's taking our tax dollars to implement this policy? I don't think so.
Anybody who votes for and supports a racist is a racist. You are culpable, white America. I'm sorry.
Is it complicit or either you're enabling?
You know.
But you guys were involved with being patriotic, right?
Very, very patriotic, but not...
Being patriotic was the group that contacted and helped organize some of these activities that you posted on your own Facebook account.
Those were legitimate.
Those were Russians.
They were not Russians. I don't go with the Russians.
Find out very clearly what his interests are. President Walker, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck? Why
25% of the country, whether it's 25, 20, 30%, are hardcore racist. They do not want to see brown people coming into America. That's just what's going on here. I mean,
of certain individuals and institutions, we will, as per Chief Jim Hopper, punch some people in the face when they seek to destroy the meek and the disenfranchised and the marginalized. And we will do it all with soul, with heart, and with joy.
There are still generations of people, older people, who were born and bred and marinated in it, in that prejudice and racism, and they just have to die.
A lot of his supporters believe that we are the enemy of the American people, and that is really, really an awful situation. We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that after seeing that video, Wolf Blitzer. Doesn't seem to me like you love the American people at all. It looks like incitement to violence, incitement to riot, permission to riot, permission to hate. See, I don't hate the people coming across the border illegally. I don't think they should be here. I don't think it should be condoned. I don't think breaking the law should be condoned, just like I don't think violence should be condoned. See, I can disagree with somebody and not hate them. But what I just saw was not the same. Patrice says it's so hateful, it's very hard to listen to. Lloyd said Oprah is one of the most racist people on the planet. Kara says pathetic media still do not get it, or they just don't care. Keep them talking, though. They are reelecting Trump right now. Joey's giving thumbs up. Patrice, totally agree with you, Rusty. Thank you. I'm embarrassed by this behavior. I'm ashamed by this behavior. And all of it goes to pretending that all of these people are here coming across the country because they are victims. Or we have to pretend that all the children that are coming across the border are with the people that they're traveling with, which they're not. Or we have to pretend that Barack Obama did a better job. Or we have to pretend that Donald Trump is Hitler. Or we have to pretend that boys who pretend to be girls are girls and girls that pretend to be boys are boys. And we have to keep pretending. Because if we can pretend the problems away, I guess they just go away. Last night, a person that likes to pretend that he is a woman got in a fight at a restaurant. Actually, a good restaurant, Washington, D.C. I've been there a couple times. And this person wants us to pretend that he is a woman. And as a matter of fact, CNN is pretending right now, right? You can even read the copy. A transgender woman asked a Washington restaurant, says a Washington restaurant asked her to show her ID before using the woman's bathroom. So if you do not pretend that this person who is pretending to be a woman is in fact a woman, then your company needs to be destroyed. You need to be destroyed because you're a hater. No, I just don't want to pretend and lie. Let's see what this man has to say.
An attendant from the restroom asked to see my ID. They didn't ask anybody else. And when I asked why, they said it's because I have to have female on my ID in order to access the restroom.
Okay, hold on one second. He didn't ask anybody else. Well, because you're the only one, I'm guessing, that was right there pretending to be a woman and not a woman going into the bathroom. This is what we were concerned about a couple of years ago when this started to happen more and more. That men were going to dress up like women, pretending to be women, going into the women's restroom, and who knows what would happen in there. But this is the whole pretending that when we were pretending that Barack Obama was a good president, this is some of the pretending that is continuing to go on. Let's continue. Charlotte Clymer was at Cuba's Libre restaurant and rum bar when an attendant asked her for ID.
Went back inside, went straight to him, and asked him to read it. He did, and he said that's incorrect. And I still don't, think that you're allowed to use the restroom. I gave him one more chance. I said that I work for the Human Rights Campaign. I need you to make a course correction right now because this is about to get very bad.
After the incident, Clymer took to Twitter. Last night I was told by the manager of Cuba Libre DC that I couldn't use the woman's restroom, and after challenging his discrimination with DC law and responding to his threat of calling the police with "please do so," I was forcibly removed from the restaurant. The internet rallied behind Clymer and the response, including the Washington, D.C. mayor. I'm so sorry this happened to you. While I'm glad to hear the D.C. Police Department was there to represent our true D.C. values, we won't accept this type of discrimination in Washington, D.C. It's not just illegal, it's against all we stand for. The restaurant tweeted an apology with a statement attached. We are extremely sorry for the incident that occurred at our restaurant last night. Please view our full response below. We are extremely sorry for the incident. As a rule, we support safe bathrooms and welcome guests of all gender identifications. Clearly, our staff did not do the right thing. Okay, so the staff didn't do the right thing because the staff didn't want to pretend that that dude who looks like a lady should be able to have, it's not equal rights, it's extra rights. It's not same rights, it's special rights. And this is what has been the concern for a long time. Mitchell says he should go to the Red Chicken. That's right. Democrats hijacked by leftist irrationality. Why do they keep saying she and her? I don't know. Sean says a veteran in Georgia set himself on fire in front of the VA. I thought it was in front of the Capitol. I saw a little bit of the story. I didn't see the whole thing. Democrats stand for immorality. Not only stand for immorality, they stand for illegality. Now, I like the TV show Sex and the City. Cynthia Nixon was not my favorite on the show. Matter of fact, I always thought she was the worst part of the show. But she's now running for, I think, governor of New York. And they're actually taking her seriously because, well, Trump won, so why not any actor? But take a listen. She wants to abolish ICE. She wants to just unfetter, let anybody in, come on in, the water's fine.
Children aren't just being separated at the border. You know, they're being separated throughout this country by ICE.
Yes.
I think we need to abolish ICE. That seems really clear.
Okay. What would you replace it with?
We don't need to replace, ICE is relatively new. It came in after September 11th. We've been handling immigration and customs for a long time here. We don't need ICE, and they have strayed so far from the interests of the American people and the interests of humanity. We need to abolish it, but in New York State and across the country, there are things that we can be doing on the ground to protect our undocumented people. And in New York State, we need to be offering access to driver's licenses to undocumented people, which is something that our governor is not doing now, and it's something that I will do immediately upon entering office, because when an undocumented person who cannot get a driver's license gets stopped in a routine traffic violation, this is the #1 way that ICE is finding people and picking them up. So if we really want to protect people on the ground, this is a concrete thing we can do to fight the Trump agenda, not just rhetorically, but with policy, if we're really interested in protecting people.
Okay, so she wants to pretend that these illegal criminals coming across the border are nice folk, and that they should be protected because they're not doing anything wrong. It's the evil Trump policies that's causing the problems, not the illegal people that are coming here and taking advantage of the good people of the United States of America. Steve asks, see, she's an actress. Who is she again? What's her name? What is her name? I got rid of it. I'm blanking now. She played... She was in Sex and the City. Let's see here. Joe says, cuckoo, cuckoo. Linda's there. How you doing, Linda? Kathy thinks she's a nutcase. Carol says, another nut. We're not in a country. We are now fruitcake with nuts. Bill says, next Mexican president is a communist socialist, and he's advocating Mexicans to invade our borders and bring back money to Mexico. We have never shared a border with a communist country. Well, not only that, here's the problem. I heard this said the other day. I even played the clip here from a Mexican American who came in from Mexico. He said that America is Mexico's safety net. So we pay for welfare and stuff that's, all these programs, EBT cards, whatever, that's supposed to be helping American citizens. And Mexico's saying, you know what? We're not going to provide any of that stuff. Even though Carlos Slim is one of the richest guys in the world and could provide. And these other, Mexico has some very, very wealthy countries. As I understand, I think Mexico's in the top 10 of wealthiest countries in the world. I want to say number 8. Now, the woman was not Sarah Jessica Parker. Is it Nixon? Cynthia Nixon is her name from Sex and the City. Anyway, so Mexico is a very wealthy country. They just have lousy laws. They've got communist laws, and they protect the wealthiest of the wealthy, and they don't allow the money to trickle down. So they expect you and me to trickle down to them. And I say enough is enough is enough. I think we've trickled enough. Thank you very much. I think we've taken on enough of you're tired and you're poor and you're hungry. Can't we have a little bit of a break, or is that just asking too much? Major drug influence. Yeah, that's true. But you can't say that, because then you're going to say, all illegal immigrants are drug abusers. And no, there are some good people, but there are also some drug abusers. Let's see here. Here's a good story. Hold on. From the Daily Wire. Democrat volunteer. Democrat volunteer threatens to kill Republican representatives' kids over zero-tolerance immigration policy. Again, what is happening on the left is they will not separate politics from personal, and they've decided that the politics of personal destruction is far more powerful and far more righteous than trying to beat us at either the ballot box or in the area of ideas. And so it's now time to destroy those you don't like. According to this story, Florida law enforcement officials arrested a man today who allegedly called the office of Representative Brian Mast, a Republican of Florida, and threatened to kill his children over the media's recent hysteria over child separation policy. Lawrence Key, who is accused of calling the office 478 times, allegedly told an intern at Mast's office, "I'm going to find the congressman's kids. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill them. If you're going to separate those kids at the border, I'm going to kill his kids. Don't try to find me, 'cause you won't. I'm too smart for you," says Lawrence Key, whose address is. Such because they found him right away. It's just crazy. We've got all this domestic terrorism going on, and we're supposed to again pretend that what that guy did was not a big deal. But it was a big deal. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm going to say when someone's wrong, when someone's crazy, when somebody goes out there and decides they're going to attack somebody else, well, you know what? It needs to be held accountable. Let's see. What else is going on in the news here? Oh, did you see this one? You see the woman that lost it on Spirit Airlines today? It's mostly bleeped out. I kind of wish they didn't bleep it out. Not that I need to see all the cussing, but I kind of want to hear what she has to say. Because this chick just lost it. And what would you do on a flight like this? Hold on, it's coming up a second. Hold on. If you were on this flight, what would you do? Check out this story out of Houston.
Airlines flights say they were pretty scared as a fellow passenger had a mid-flight meltdown on a flight from Houston to Minnesota.
I don't care! Put me in a knife fest! You know who my brothers are? They're Marine snipers! You want
This was a very intense 20 minutes. Passengers say that this woman was cursing, making threats, acting very erratically on yesterday's flight. They say that a woman claimed to be a military veteran, and passengers believe that she was suffering from PTSD.
So after a while, it was like, okay, she's not just being a rude passenger. She has some sort of imbalance or, stress disorder.
So actually getting quite a bit of sympathy here. Before police took her off of that plane, you can see a passenger was seen trying to console her by literally letting her cry on his shoulder. It's really kind of neat to see that hug happening in the middle of all this chaos. Spirit Airlines released a statement. They apologized to passengers for the inconvenience, but then went on to say that safety is their top priority. The flight did finally resume to Minneapolis after being grounded for 2 flights.
Yeah. Do you know my brothers? My brothers are Marine snipers. Yeah, that's what I want to hear on a flight. Yeah, Joey says, I don't want what she's taking. You ever had anything crazy like that on an airplane? I've never had anything that bad. I've had a couple of crazy situations, but nothing that bad. Let's see, anything else? Oh, Keith Ellison. Well, we're supposed to say, well, he's a Muslim, but he's a good Muslim. He's not anybody we should be worrying about. No, Keith Ellison is a member of, and he tries to hide it, but from everything I've heard, he was a member of the Nation of Islam. Now, the Nation of Islam is different than Islam, much more radical, much more racist. I mean, Louis Farrakhan is the definition of racism. And it looks like Keith Ellison did not like the Supreme Court upholding, it's not a travel ban. Trump's travel ban. It's not wasn't Trump's travel ban. Version was Obama's. But it is a travel ban from countries that cause a lot of troubles. And we're right to say, yeah, no, enough's enough. That's what I think, but here's CNN. Watch these guys.
The party's breaking down on party lines here, Kate.
Yeah, absolutely not at this moment. But let's see what happens in the next few minutes. Manu, great to see you. Thank you so much. Let's get some more reaction, though, now. On the phone with me is Democratic Congressman Keith Ellison of Minnesota. Congressman, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, glad to be on with you today.
Give me a reaction to the ruling from the Supreme Court.
Well, the Supreme Court has said that no matter how...
Stop and wait for just a second here. Of these countries, let's take a look at the countries. Here's Travel Ban 3.0. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this. But let's take a look. Venezuela, Chad, Libya, Syria, Somalia, Yemen, Iran, and North Korea. Which of those countries do you say, well, maybe? Okay, Venezuela. I don't like their government, but I could say, okay, I don't know that there's a lot of terrorism coming out of there. But Iran? Yemen? Syria? How many stories in the news have you heard about all of these countries? Recently, Somalia pirates. North Korea, we're best friends with them now because of Kim Jong-il. All right, let's wait a little bit and keep the travel ban going. How about when they let Americans come in and out easily? Or Americans, can we go in and out of Iran? No. Can we go in and out of Syria? No. Can we go in and out of Yemen? No. Can we go in and out of Somalia? Maybe, but it's a pain in the ass. Iran, they're living large right now. They got all kinds of cash. I just want to know, what about any of these countries should make you so upset that we're just saying, hey, we're just slowing down the influx for a little while? Why is that so bad? I'll continue.
How bad the discriminatory language is before, during, and after President Trump's run and his service, as long as he puts a very thin veneer of national security on top of all that discrimination and racism, they will buy it. In other words, as long as a pig has some lipstick on it, it's fine. And that is what they have said. And all I can say is that the people who believe in dignity of all people, who believe in freedom of faith and freedom of religion in America, we're not going to stop fighting. In fact, this is going to enliven us. This is going to inspire us to push even further and harder to establish the dignity of all people in this country. We're not daunted here. We're going to keep on pressing. It just proves one thing, that if you steal and rip off a Supreme Court justice, then you can try to jam any kind of nasty, racist, ugly policy you can down the throats of the American people.
Now we stole a Supreme Court justice. Give me a break. Yeah, now, again, let's look at the map. Venezuela, Chad, Libya, Syria, Somalia, Yemen, Iran, and North Korea. You could say Venezuela, even though they are completely collapsing under communism, which, by the way, Keith Ellison would support the policies of that country. How many, let's remember, Sean Penn went down to Venezuela, talked about how wonderful it was. Danny Glover, I believe, went down there, hung out in Venezuela. Oh, Venezuela's great. Now a loaf of bread's like $400. But putting Venezuela aside, again, tell me, which country that we are slowing down immigration from temporarily is not showing the dignity of America? Is it Chad? Iran? Yemen? Somalia? Syria? North Korea? What am I missing here? What I'm missing is the fake outrage by people who insist on destroying our country. I'm sorry, none of those countries are American, are they? None of those people are American citizens, are they? Then why do they get to have the same constitutional rights as you and me? Let's continue. I can only handle a couple more moments of this idiot, but let's go.
But we're not taking it. We're not going to. That's what I feel.
Well, Congressman, you are really upset about this. I know there are a lot of people who.
Look, let me just tell you this. Our country has gone through some ugly days. The Supreme Court in the 1850s said that it was okay to own a black person. That was the Dred Scott decision. That decision hit the dustbin of history. So did Plessy versus Ferguson. So did Korematsu, and this one will too. I'm telling you, discrimination and racism and hatred and religious bigotry is never going to be winning in the end. So we're fired up and we're pushing forward.
Congressman,
and take a look at those people who voted in dissent. Sonia Sotomayor, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Stephen Breyer, Elena Kagan. These people are and have been in the pocket of the left from the beginning. Oh, well, the guys on the right, too, Gorsuch and Alito and Thomas and Roberts and Kennedy. Who knows where the hell that guy's going back and forth. Again, why everybody in the world has a right to come to America? That's the thing. If you say, no, we've had enough for even a little while, even a temporary ban on people from countries that are exporting terrorism, that's racist to these morons. And it's sad and disgusting. All right, what's not sad and disgusting? Well, the nice folks at Virtual Shield, they're ones that want to make sure that your data doesn't get ripped off. You need to protect yourself. It is so important, so do yourself a favor. Don't wait, don't hesitate. Go to virtualshield.com/Rusty. Find out what a VPN is and why you need a VPN, a virtual private network, from Virtual Shield. Don't let these bastards get your data, because they're going to sell it and they're going to abuse it and they're going to try to take advantage of you. Don't let them. virtualshield.com/Rusty, promo code Rusty, that's me, and you get a discount. Liberty One TV is a great website, a great network of some fantastic conservative programs. Go there, see what they have, and subscribe, would you please? Now, in the next few days, we're going to start getting some more sponsors. And if you don't help and support our sponsors like Virtual Shield, or hear me out, they're out for a while. If you don't do it, we can't do this anymore. If you don't start supporting the sponsors that we start bringing to you, I'm going to have to stop soon. So hopefully you will put your dollars into some of these great products and help. Have you bought my book? It's very inexpensive. 7 Ways to Win Political Debates of Your Liberal Family and Friends and Still Keep Them as Family and Friends. It's only available at Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and on Audible, the audio version. Go find it and get it. Again, if you don't support the sponsors, we won't be able to do a show much longer. That's it. May God bless you. May God bless America. My name is Rusty Humphries. Please share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Check out the podcast, The Rusty Humphries Rebellion, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, any place you get great podcasts. Thumbs ups. Come on. Let's hit some thumbs ups. Let's get some hearts. Let's get them all out there. And let's make sure people know all about this show. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless America. I'm Rusty Humphries, and this is The Rusty Humphries Rebellion.